Hey, non-chicken. So, I have a few things I'm gonna mention. I'm gonna start with the story, and this is coming from the Tarot community on YouTube, so you can look into that if you're interested. I actually have multiple favorite readers, and you'll see them. I sometimes post my favorite videos on my community tab, but they've been talking recently about basically. I'm just gonna drop words. Um, they're trying to, some of them, hijack the collective consciousness. At one time was, I inquired to God if you can actually do that. Like, I wouldn't think you could. It's disrespectful because God gave free will. Anyway, so apparently somebody was trying to do that, which is kind of like, wow, you can even do that, huh? Well, you're cruising for a bruising, but whatever. Um, they're talking about underground sex parties, like where they buy children, and these could possibly be, and these are all over, not just in America, but all over America and the world. This is international. Um, they could possibly be at closed down underground military bases and other places. But, and remember, this is coming from Tarot. So this is just a story, and take from it what you will. I was really into conspiracy theory. I still love to look at that stuff. It's thought-provoking, if nothing else. But they're also talking about how fentanyl, I think is what it's called, it's some new drug, is being all over the place, I guess, and it's killing people, apparently. And it is supposedly being pushed by, like, Russians? I don't freaking know, man. But I do know that I've heard before about certain things being put out there so that people who partake in drug use, they will basically kill themselves. Um, but that's not the worst of it, because those people are at least choosing what they're putting into their body. Some people, and I kind of am more on this side of the fence with it, if they kill themselves, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but they're controlling what they put into their body. So it's like, I don't want to be that mean, but like, it's people taking themselves out for dumb reasons, but they're actually self-medicating is what a lot of these people are doing, to be honest. And I feel bad for them, but at the same time, knowing how things sometimes work, yeah. But these are basically people who are hurting, who have been raised up in environments where, they maybe were not programmed correctly. And who doesn't have a story where, we all have some sort of healing to do, I think. I don't think there's anybody that's perfect. I mean, prove me wrong. But, so I don't really want to throw stones, but there's a big difference between somebody who intends to do harm and why are they doing that versus somebody who intends to do right and they just don't know better. So anyway, besides my opinion, they're apparently able to project energy at people, and I believe it. They want to drive people crazy in order to label them as crazy, incompetent, and I guess gain conservatorship or guardianship. Then they can put out a life insurance policy on that person and actually collect from that, but I guess inherit the person's assets, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. And I posted on my community page a couple links, because the very things that I've been kind of concerned about, like sex trafficking, I didn't even know about the organ trafficking, but I have the link on the community page. I found a story where it's basically kind of what I suspected might be being pushed, where it's basically a romance scam, and the woman is, pulled off to wherever, and then her organs are trafficked. You do have to be alive when they kill you in order for them to harvest your organs, so just a thought. Also, the tarot readers are saying the mafia is basically controlling, like, gangs, which, I know because I'm in Texas, south of the border. I know, like, the Templar and the Mafia are at war. So, and sometimes the government people will just stay out of it, whether fear is their motivator or whether they're motivated by, some other cause, monetary gain, etc. They can actually cloak their energy too and send messages through tarot readers. And I'm pretty sure that the good guys, quote unquote, know about this. Which, I'm not going to lie, within every group there's good and bad. Therefore, I couldn't really tell you who the good guys and the bad guys are. This is one reason way back in the day I've mentioned you need to know God, because how are you going to know the difference between God and synthetic telepathy if you don't know God? It would be much harder to recognize his voice when you're going through some stuff where they're projecting messages to you or whatever. And if you think I'm pulling your leg on that, I mean, look into it. A veteran actually told me a story about how, I believe it was Afghanistan. It was somewhere in the Middle East. And they used it. And they basically made the other people believed Allah was telling them to lay their weapons down. So, yeah. I mean, it has been utilized. Also, just a tip. If you want to see who started stuff for you, you might go back. Now, I know a lot of people, I hear things and I don't register them. I have to see them. So I guess that'd be a visual learner or something. But I can see them in my head, as weird as that sounds, and then I understand it. So what I will recommend, if anybody finds themselves in this position, I would recommend pick your favorite tarot reader if you're into that, and go backwards. And then you can kind of remember where you were at that time, who was around you. That will kind of give you an idea of who may have started what. And remote viewing is another possibility, which I didn't even really know that was a thing. I knew it was a thing, but I didn't know that it was being utilized in war and whatnot. Which is actually smart. It's actually smart, but when we say war, I would think normally of, government war or something. I'm talking about mafia and whatnot. But and also another recommendation, if you do feel like you're having projected energy sent at you, try manipulating yourself with music. In the Bible, it says that music is a medicine. Use it well. Manipulate yourself, because if you don't, somebody else is going to. Keep yourself in a more positive, and that's not to say ignore anything. Do what you do. You're a team. You and God. Or if you have, connections with your ancestry, I know not everybody does, which I definitely recommend that, but to each their own. But what I'm saying is, look at it this way: you're a team. You have things to do, and he has a part to play. So, because of your body, your physical vessel, manipulate yourself. Be wise enough to do that, and you can totally do it. If it's not music, maybe use your favorite food. Self-love, self-healing is also a big deal. That's a lot of what I've been learning lately too, which is really awesome, because you'd be surprised how it's like reprogramming the mind. And even in the Bible, it says something about renewing the mind and having the mind of Christ. Well, it's easier to have that if you're not full of all these pains and reacting, because the body stores trauma. Like the nervous system, they've been, in the past, a lot have done experiments, funded experiments concerning controlling the nervous system. I have said before, I believe that the nervous system and the soul have some connection. They have learned how to utilize a lot of life forms. So I would not put anything past anyone. Like, if they have an agenda to control things, I wouldn't put it past people to, use that wisdom, whatever they gained from those experiments. And I think they were doing it on butterflies. Also, well, let me finish this. Also, you would think it's a butterfly. We're a human. It's so different. There's a lot of the same strategy, or they can use that information basically in some instances to manipulate other beings. I mean, I'm sure they've done a lot of trial and error, but also the gangs, I've heard a long time ago, this was many moons ago, I heard the gangs were utilizing electronic devices to survey people, to watch them. This Tarot story, it actually points at police officers and people in authority who, and they could be compromised, They could be using compromised police officers or whatever they are, FBI, whatever the heck they are, CIA, whatever, for intimidation or worse. But there are also some good people in those organizations who are trustworthy and who do have the intent to do well by man, or, by those they serve. So, STDs. So with the trafficking, and I'm going to throw this in here too, even with circumcision, there are some groups, ultra-Orthodox, Talmudists, they have a religious ritual that's been giving babies herpes. Like, can you imagine that? That's messed up. But with the trafficking people, these people don't get to pick their lover, so who knows what the hell they're giving these people. They could use STDs as a form of manipulation too, because, just mental manipulation. If you have something, who's going to want you now? You're stuck with me type stuff. I don't know. I actually do have a few more links to post. And a lot of these things could even be started just because you know too much, which is really sad if you think about it. But, or if your opinion is something different than the main narrative. Like, I have so many things. Like, I know about exes who are not straight, who don't want that shit getting out type shit. I know about relatives who really care about their image, but honestly, they're kind of the type of people, oh, I'm moving around my mom so I can watch out for her. They're never around the person they said they were moving to be around. They just thought the person was going to die, so they wanted that money or whatever. But they're buying everybody at the bar drinks, type shit. Or I actually have posted most of my stuff on BitChute because YouTube is a funny bunny and it's very prejudiced against me. As soon as it sees me, it's like, we're watching you. Because I am a revisionist. I don't believe that history was told the way it happened. I believe there was a narrative formed that would create in the minds of men a certain attitude that was necessary for certain people to allow certain things, etc., or support certain things. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to stop there for now. I'm sure I'll find out some more things to say, because I think I'm going to try to post a few videos within the next 24. Anyway, I hope you all have a good night.